Hello everyone! Welcome to this Folklorama live reading. I'm so glad you could all join me on this Sunday. I hope you're having a lovely day so far, enjoying the weekend. Happy I Love to Read month. I know we're in like the last week of I Love to Read month now. I hope you've all been doing well. Hope you've been reading something good. If you've read any great new books, please feel free to let us know in the chat. Before I start this live reading, I'm just going to leave a few minutes for people to trickle in. So feel free to tell us how you've been doing in the chat while we wait for that. Welcome, Natalie. Hello. Nice to see you on this Sunday. I hope you guys have all been doing well. I know it's starting to get a little bit warmer this week, thank goodness, finally. So I hope that you all have had the chance to go outside, enjoy the weather a little bit. If you've done anything new this weekend, anything exciting, again, feel free to let us know in the chat. Welcome to my kitchen. It now doubles as an online classroom this year and now a live broadcast space. I've been mostly doing online school recently, which I know leaves a lot to be desired, but I think that our teachers have been doing a really good job of becoming really tech savvy, actually. I'm quite surprised. Hello everyone who's saying hi. Hi Jan, nice to see you. Jan is actually going to be doing his own live reading later today at 4 p.m. He's going to be reading Philippine Folktales later with Yas. Again, you can tune into that later, just today at 4 p.m. I'm very excited to see that. Hello everyone. Hi Ralph. Hi Karen. I don't know about you guys, but I've been rereading a lot of books this month since I haven't been going to libraries much this year because of pandemic, obviously. I've just been pulling books off of my shelf to read again. Especially when I was in like elementary and middle school, I was really big into buying books, so I would just buy a lot of my favorite books and then I would read them over and over again. And a lot of them now have been sitting there for quite a while collecting dust. I haven't looked at them in a long time. And I don't know about anyone else, but I find that when I read books for the first time in years, the experience is actually really different. I'm always surprised by the new things I pick up and how it seems different to me when I look at it again. So nothing new for me this I Love to Read month, but it's been very exciting to see how old things can transform. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. Hi everyone, I'm Vivian. I'm your Youth Ambassador General from 2020 to 2021. Very excited to read this Chinese Zodiac Story for you today. Originally, I was from the Chinese Pavilion. I first got involved with Folklorama when I was pretty young. I volunteered for the Indochina Pavilion first, and since I was so small, I just volunteered with my friend handing out food, but it was a really great starting point to get me involved in Folklorama. I think when I found out about it was also when I was pretty young, around the same age, when I would do Chinese dance and all of the older dancers and my teachers would participate in Folklorama and they would perform on the stages. And I was really stunned by how many people were actually interested in learning about our culture, so I think that's what really got me into Folklorama. So I can tell you a little bit about this Chinese Zodiac story before we actually start reading it. So as some of you might know, the Chinese Zodiac is a little bit different from the Western Zodiac in that instead of 12 different signs, there's actually 12 animals, as you can hopefully see here. And instead of having each, I think it's like a month, I don't actually know that much about the Western Zodiac, a month or a couple of weeks assigned for each Zodiac, it's actually by a year. So one entire year will be one zodiac animal. Since we just had the Chinese New Year on February the 12th, it's now the Year of the Ox. Happy Year of the Ox, everyone. So we've just moved into another Chinese New Year. And the last year we had was the Year of the Rat. And then you can see here it goes in a cycle just like the Western Zodiac. So you can see here we had the rat, just moved into the ox, and then the next year we have will be the Year of the Tiger. So in another 12 months, that's the year we'll be having. And just like the Western Zodiac, the Chinese Zodiac believes that each person is assigned to a different animal, so that's the animal of their birth year. And each animal also has traits, just like the Western Zodiac assigns different traits to different zodiac signs. So let's see here. I am the ram, sometimes also called the sheep or the goat. And rams are, I think, typically believed to be artistic, soft-spoken, and agreeable, which obviously all zodiacs are kind of hit or miss, but I think that that fits me pretty well. So I don't know if any of you have found what your Chinese zodiac is, but if you do know and you'd love to share, please type it in the chat. I'd love to see all your responses. And this actually is more of a myth, so there's no one official author, but I found this particular version on a website called Top Marks, which seems to be an educational website for children. I kind of took a look around it to make sure it was credible, and it looks pretty good. I don't know if it's American or British, but it has a lot of resources. I think this is from their history side, but they have other things like math and I think basic alphabet. So if you have kids at home and you want to learn about history or different cultures in a fun way, I think this would be a pretty good website for it. Again, I downloaded this off the website, I printed it out, there's a lot of nice pictures, it's pretty easy to read, it's all nicely spaced out, so if you want to check that out on the actual website, feel free to do that. I would encourage you to take a look at that website because I know there are more stories from different cultures on there. I chose to read this one because I personally find it quite fun. There are a lot of other myths I found online that could also work, but I think this one personally works great for this time because, again, we just moved into the Chinese New Year, that's the year of the ox, and this has a lot of different animals, so the story will take us through each of the different animals and how they got their roles in the cycle of the 12 years of the Zodiac. So it is about a great race across a river that helps the animals decide their place in the zodiac. I think it's quite fun, quite good for children because it has so many animals. I know that when I was a kid, I was crazy about animals, so this was definitely one of my favorite stories. Hello everyone who just came in, great to see you on this Sunday. I don't know if you guys have checked out any of the past live readings from Folklorama, but the other ones have been very fun as well. There have been a bunch of readings of various lengths, and again from different cultures, of course. I know Donovan did a really great one that it was a series of stories, Tales of Anansi the Spider, which was about this trickster spider that got up to a bunch of different misadventures, which was very fun. Jamie did one, I think a week or a couple of weeks ago, that was about a giant potato, which was a very fun story. I think it was more of a brief one, but it was very interesting to tune into. So if you guys haven't seen those already, definitely feel free to tune into those past stories because I think those are all very different but very fun. I'll just give everyone a few more minutes to trickle in and we'll start quite soon. This is actually the first live event of any kind, but definitely the first Facebook Live I've ever done. So I've been taking a look around Facebook just to prepare for this because I've never done that before. And I was actually really surprised by all the live events that come up. So if you guys have seen any good Facebook Live events, if you've tuned into anything interesting, again, feel free to let us know in the chat because I'm definitely a newbie at this. And it was really surprising to me to see how many things go on Facebook Live, especially this year because, you know, we're all supposed to be safe at home. So it's great to see that people in Winnipeg are still staying connected. There's a lot of exciting events, many of which are free, which I think is a really great opportunity to get connected in the community. I've also noticed that there are a lot more outdoor opportunities this winter. There's been a new skating rink, an outdoor skating rink that just got set up near my house, which I think is really cool. I used that a few times. I've seen a bunch of other skating trails. I know that the Forks also has this purple or pink trail out now, which is very exciting. And now that the weather's getting warm, hopefully we can all get out and enjoy that a little bit more. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Here is, without any further ado, the Chinese Zodiac Story. Long ago, in China, the Jade Emperor decided that there should be a way of measuring the time. On his birthday, he told all the animals that there was to be a swimming race. The first 12 animals across the fast-flowing river would be the winners, and they would each have a year of the zodiac named after them. You can see here, this is the Jade Emperor in his fancy robes, his little emperor hat. All of the animals lined up along the river bank. The rat and the cat, who were good friends, were worried because they were poor swimmers. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a rat or a cat swimming, but I definitely haven't. Being clever, they asked the strong ox if he would carry them across the river. "Of course," said the kind ox. "Just climb on my back and I will take you across." You can see here the ox next to the rat and the cat. Look at how small they look next to the big strong ox. Again, I really love this version of the story because it has a lot of great pictures. The rat and the cat jumped up and were very excited when the ox took the lead. They had almost reached the other bank when the rat pushed the cat into the water, leaving him to struggle. It's not very nice of him. Just as the ox was about to win the race, the rat leapt on his head and onto the river bank to finish first. "Well done," said the Jade Emperor to the proud rat. "The first year of the zodiac will be named after you." The poor ox had been tricked into second place, and the second year of the zodiac was named after him. You can see here they're so close to the riverbank, and the rat just jumps across to take first place, and the ox comes in second. So again, that's why we have the year of the rat that comes right before the year of the ox. So that's the year we just had, the year we're in now. So we just started almost at the very beginning of the zodiac cycle. Shortly after, the exhausted tiger clawed his way to the riverbank to claim third place. Swimming across the river had been an enormous struggle for him against the strong currents. The emperor was so delighted with his efforts that he named the third year after him. Look at this tiger here. Look at how tired he looks. Tigers were definitely my favorite animal when I was growing up, and I kind of wish I'd been born in that year, but again, the ram is also very cool. Next to arrive was the rabbit, who hadn't swum across at all. He had hopped across some stepping stones and then found a floating log, which carried him to the shore. "I shall be very happy to call the fourth year after you," the surprised Jade Emperor explained. And you can see here the rabbit hopping across the stone to this log onto the riverbank. Another thing that's really cool, I think, about this story is that it kind of shows the different characteristics of each animal. Some of them can swim, some of them can't, and they all get across the river in different ways, and it kind of shows their personalities in the zodiac. My grandma's actually zodiac animal is the rabbit. Just then, a kind dragon swooped down to take fifth place. The Jade Emperor asked, "Why didn't you win the race when you can fly?" "I needed to make some rain because some people and animals needed water to drink," the dragon explained. "Then I saw a little rabbit on a log in the water, so I blew a puff of wind so that the log would float to the riverbank." "Well, that was very kind of you. You will have the fifth year of the zodiac named after you." You can see the dragon here next to the emperor just flew in. So you can see that some of the animals are very determined to win, while the others just want to help each other, which I think is very nice of them. The next thing the Jade Emperor heard was the sound of horses' hooves. Just as he was thinking the horse would be the next animal to arrive, a sneaky snake wriggled out from around one of the horse's hooves. The horse was so surprised that he jumped backwards, giving the snake a chance to take the sixth place in the race. The poor horse had to be satisfied with 7th place. You can see here the snake on the ground next to the horse, which is clearly very startled. I know snakes are usually very clever, and if you've ever ridden a horse in real life or interacted with one, they're very easy to startle. There we go. Not long afterward, a raft arrived, carrying the goat, the monkey, and the rooster. They explained to the emperor how they had shared the raft that the rooster had found. The goat and monkey had cleared weeds and pushed the raft to the shore. Very good cooperation. The emperor was very pleased that the animals had worked together so well. He said the goat would be the 8th zodiac animal, the monkey would be the 9th, and the rooster the 10th. So again, another kind of unusual way of getting across the river, since I guess none of them can swim. You can see here the rooster, monkey, and the goat, sometimes also called the ram. That's my zodiac animal, and my mom's zodiac animal is actually the monkey. The next animal to finish was the dog. "Why are you so late, when you are one of the best swimmers?" asked the Jade Emperor. "Well, the water in the river was so clean that I had to have a bath on the way," explained the dog. His reward was to have the 11th year named after him. You can see the Jade Emperor here next to the dog who's just finished. I think he looks pretty pleased with himself. I don't think he has any qualms about having been 11th place after taking his nice bath. And the boar claims the last place. There was one last place left in the zodiac, and the emperor wondered when the last winner would come. Finally, he heard a grunt from the boar. "You took a long time to cross the river," said the emperor to the boar. "Well, I was hungry and stopped to eat," explained the boar. "After the meal I felt so tired that I fell asleep." "You still have done well," said the Jade Emperor. "The last year of the zodiac will be named after you." And you can see here another picture of the boar standing in a little patch of grass. I know the boar is also one that's sometimes called a different animal. Sometimes it's referred to as the pig, but I think this boar here looks very cute with his little tusks. Look at that. And there's actually one animal that's been mentioned that hasn't finished the race yet, and that's the cat. As for the cat, who had been pushed into the water by the rat, he finally crawled out of the water, but was too late to have a year named after him. He felt very cross with the rat, and since then, cats have never been friends with rats. I don't think I would want to be friends with someone like that either. Rats are sometimes called mice, so we have that in Western culture too, game of cat and mouse. I think that it's understood across almost all cultures that cats and mice don't like each other very much, so this is just one explanation that we've come up with for why that is. From that day to this one, the Chinese Zodiac has followed this cycle of years, named after these 12 animals. And that brings us to the end. You can see here the cycle with the 12 animals that finished the race. Starting off here, the rat, the ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, ram, monkey, rooster, dog, and the boar. And again, it goes in a 12-year cycle, so every person should have one based on their birth year. And you can easily find this by Googling the year you were born in. So there you go. That's one of my favorite cultural stories because it explains something that I think people still talk about today. I know astrology is becoming more and more popular, and so this is a very cool kind of zodiac that you can look up. I know there are a bunch of other different beliefs. People believe that in a 60-year cycle there's going to be special years, I think my grandparents know about that. I'm not really sure. I've never been super into astrology, but I think that this story is very fun because it has all these different animals and it kind of shows their different personalities, their different ways of getting across the river. I think that's very creative. So yeah, there you go. Again, feel free to look up your birth year. It might have some characteristics that you think fit you, maybe some that don't, but it's definitely interesting to see. Thank you all for joining me on this Folklorama live reading. It's been very nice having all of you here. Again, if you haven't checked out some of the past live readings yet, you can find them on the Folklorama page. They're all very different stories and they're all extremely interesting. And if you guys still want more, we have another live reading coming up just today. Yas and Jan are reading Philippine Folktales just today at 4 p.m. Again, that's today at 4 p.m. with Yas and Jan. They are reading Philippine Folktales. So I hope that you will all tune in for that, and I'm very excited to see you all there. Thank you everyone for coming, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye, Folklorama friends!